If we're not at a Disney park, we're dreaming about being there, and a cup of Joffrey's Coffee Disney Blend helps. But what about when you're at a Disney park? The Joffrey's Disney Kiosk and Restaurant Locator will make sure you never miss out, whether it's a cool drink on a hot summer vacation or a great cup of coffee at a Disney signature restaurant. Joffrey's has you covered. Check it out at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The body of water that you see to the right of our forward motion is the Seven Seas Lagoon. The Seven Seas Lagoon is a man-made creation that took 3 years and the removal of millions of cubic yards of earth to complete.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. I'm excited. This is that time of the month. It's the one time we didn't do this last month, by the way. That was totally my fault. But this month, we're back with the DVC Roundtable. This is where the Roundtable cheers.
Crowd goes wild.
Excellent. Joining us, we have Miss Rebecca Toon.
Hello. I've missed you all.
Mr. Brad Coates.
It's so good to be back.
And Emily Hansa Hicks. Hello, everybody.
Hello. I was like, that didn't sound anything like Emily.
Yeah,
Where'd she go?
Boy, she's got a cold or something.
I've learned to throw my voice.
Emily, cough twice if everything's okay. Nobody's holding you hostage there. Is that correct? You're okay.
Blink twice.
That's right.
It's holding a hostage yet.
Also Tim is here. Hi, Tim.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
It's Tim Scott.
I'm very excited to be here. I'm excited for the roundtable. I've had lots of calls and emails wondering what happened to the roundtable. Are they all okay? I said, one, they've never been okay.
Fans.
They've never been okay, and two, I just forgot about last month, so it was all my fault.
You were in vacation mode.
I was in vacation mode.
Absolutely acceptable.
Time flew by, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was like the last day of the month. I'm like, well, there's no way now. So I apologize.
June was crazy. I think everybody's June was crazy.
I think so.
True.
Yeah.
I finally confessed to coworkers that I'm on the podcast, so I had a bunch of people listening too. So
finally confessed.
I just told them I got fired.
All because he was in an interrogation room. Like, where were you on the night of July 31st?
Right.
We're missing Joe tonight.
We're missing Joe terribly.
Shout out to Joe, keeping everybody safe.
That's what he does.
Right.
He's our Resort Loop superhero.
He is our Resort Loop superhero,
Yes,
even if he won't let me come to the DVC resorts.
Restraining orders are there for a purpose. But anyway, let's get right into the news. We got a bunch of news today, and we have a short time to get through it.
We have a lot of stories.
We do.
Absolutely.
Rebecca, you want to kick us off?
Absolutely. I will lead off. I am going to tell you that great news, the renovation at the DVC Villas Disney's Old Key West Resort is complete.
Yay!
Yay! The crowd goes wild. This is actually Disney's oldest resort, so they've been probably refurbed a couple of times. But this particular 18-month update was a large-scale hard goods refurbishment, which occurs about every 14 years. Disney Vacation Club's current refurbishment schedule calls for a lighter soft good update after 7 years, primarily featuring changes to floor coverings, wall coverings, linens, and upholstery. And then after another 7 years, the hard good refurbishment begins and updates many of the same soft goods, along with any necessary changes to the room's infrastructure, including cabinets, countertops, tile, appliances, furniture, etc. Next on deck is Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort, and it should be the next property up for a hard goods refurbishment, but DVC has not yet released the details on a start date or duration. Has anyone seen pictures of the new refurbishment by chance?
I haven't.
I'm
interested to see, because I love that hard goods. That was really neat information to find out about the 14 years where they really get in there, because there's a couple of resorts that will be getting long in the tooth. So,
Well, and especially Old Key West, because it is the oldest. And
right.
It's funny, I shied away from Old Key West for many years, thinking it's the oldest, it must not be very nice, it's got to be showing its age. And I got to tell you, I think I stayed there on a recommendation from Joe. And I love this place.
It's wonderful.
It is so nice.
Its rooms are huge. Like they built this resort before they had any sort of compunction about space or crowds or anything. They're just like, let's go all in.
Before they knew better.
So the space is magnificent. So it quickly became a favorite of our families.
I just looked at the pictures, and it does look gorgeous.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like modern beach house.
I was going to say, I hope they maintain those pastel beachy colors, though.
It's a little brighter inside of it.
All right.
But it's still splashy and it feels Key Westy.
It's so funny between the gurgling suitcase and the water and the boats there. Like you kind of check in and immediately feel very relaxed. Even though I always feel relaxed at Disney, like this is that place where you could go and probably spend a few days without ever seeing a park and be really happy about it.
Yeah, about the only negative with staying there, and you hate to tell people about how good it is because then they'll all start booking there again. It is really cool. The only thing is you got to watch it because it's pretty like Saratoga. You got to ask for nearby, figure out where the ones are near, because it can be a long walk from some of those.
It can be a very long walk, and this is one of the very first resorts where I learned very quickly that much like an airplane, sometimes your closest exit is behind you.
Yes.
Yeah. Very similar, like bus stops. Yeah. Some of the bus stops aren't intuitive. Like we found that we had a much closer bus stop by not following the map that they gave us. So be very aware where you get on and get off and how far your walk is, because sometimes you're walking a lot of extra mileage unduly. But I love the pool here. And actually, I love this resort. I think it's very Florida. It's very, it's kind of got a neighborhood feel when you walk around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And,
definitely.
Yeah, so I'm excited that they've updated it. I can't wait to see the pictures. And
the restaurant there is one of the most comfy, casual restaurants you find on property.
What is the name of that again? Remind me, Brad.
Olivia's.
Yeah. Another one of Joe's suggestions.
Good food.
Such good food. We did breakfast there too after one of the races, and it was delightful.
Yeah.
So can't speak highly enough about Old Key West.
One warning: if you're coming during a race weekend, if I remember correctly, the walls are pretty thin. So look at the calendar. If you have young kids or if you're a light sleeper, look at the calendar and determine whether or not a Run Disney weekend is a good idea at Old Key West, because it's really close to the fireworks. And you start hearing them really early in the morning, as we runners know.
You better hope you're next door to some runners.
Right.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, give Old Key West a try if you're a DVC member, or if you're renting points, don't shy away from it. Not only do you have the luxury of space, but apparently it's also newly updated. So enjoy.
Fantastic.
And I'm just going to launch right into our second news story.
Awesome.
Tell us about it.
I'm like super bossy tonight.
You have been.
Of noises that you hear from your room, Rebecca.
Listen to you and your segues. Listen to you. I'm so glad you're back, Emily. Speaking of noises and unpleasant noises at that, construction at the TTC, the Ticket and Transportation Center, is generating complaints from DVC members staying in nearby rooms. Oh man, I just forgot. I didn't want this story because I can't pronounce these buildings.
That's all right. Our listeners are used to it.
Just get to it and say hard word.
Just pause and I'll say it.
There you go. Just
Emily, like Brad, jump in.
Emily, go voiceover.
Right.
The New York Mets. Excessive noise has caused some DVC members to complain. The recent reimagining, isn't that a great word
Love
to
it.
say? We rip apart.
Spread it apart.
The recent reimagining of the TTC includes the removal of the walk around the world bricks and has been starting as early as 7 a.m.
Ouch.
That's still later than the runners in the league.
I was going to say, this seems like really late to me, but I have 3 kids. So.
He lies just on the east of the Polynesian, which hosts the 3 DVC longhouses. The eastern sides of
Here we go.
Morea
Nice.
Good.
Good job.
and Pago Pago building.
2 for 2.
Within the closest proximity to the construction zone. With the construction work beginning as early as 7 a.m., guests may want to request a room in the Have No Clue building.
Tokelau.
Say it again.
Tokelau.
Tokelau
I'll take 2
building.
Brad
of those.
wins this round.
All right. I feel like I'm just clucking my tongue a couple of times.
There you go.
Or a room more toward the western end of Morea or Pago Pago. And in addition to the noise, no completion date has actually been announced for this project.
It's going to be perpetual.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually agree. I feel like it's going to be a perpetual construction zone for a while.
It's
It's interesting though. Is it jackhammers? I'm wondering what they're hearing.
Dynamite. I don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah, really.
it takes a lot of effort to pull up those bricks.
Runners.
Maybe they're hearing the soundtrack from Seven Dwarfs. Ding 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 ding.
There you
ding,
go.
ding, da, 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 da.
I'm curious, are there regular buildings that are also like? I'm wondering if it's just DVC members that are complaining.
The DVC area is the buffer zone.
Could be.
Tokelau, isn't that the DVC Longhouse?
Yes.
Because I think that's the one we stayed in.
Okay.
So maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Although this is saying request a room in the
It's
Tokelau.
actually saying request room because it's saying the eastern sides of Morea and Pago Pago are within.
I see.
Are they all 3 DVC longhouses?
I thought they were.
That's,
It does actually say it lies
It does.
just east of the Polynesian, which hosts the 3 DVC longhouses.
Yes.
So they may all 3 be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's all in that area. So yeah.
How I am curious. I know they're not offering a completion date, but I don't know.
They're
With
just-
Disney, it could be.
I mean, they're pulling up the bricks, right? And
Right.
okay, so I guess that's only one component. But I mean, we had some people pull up our walkway in a day, so I would think that these Disney folks could get it done quickly.
Yeah, and they're not. It's not like they're preserving the bricks because you're not allowed to get. You're not allowed to have them.
No.
Oh yeah,
They're crushed when they're pulled out. So it could just be,
I think there's more to the remodel of it, the renovation of it, than just taking up the bricks, though.
Pulling up
Yeah,
the
they're
bricks.
They're redoing some other things, but they're just not talking about it in typical Disney fashion. So,
Yes.
Really?
so they're kind of like your
Yes.
local preacher. They're still in conclusion.
Oh,
There you go.
that's the voice of experience. I hear.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
All right. So, if you're planning on heading to the Poly, know where to stay. Maybe put in that room request early.
Yes.
Yeah.
Room
And
request to
speaking
your
of
friend.
walking around,
Speaking of walking or running at a really early time.
right? You now have an option to do this even more at Disney. So,
You don't clock enough miles.
right. The great news about this one, though, is you don't have to meet at 2:30 in the morning or whatever
Yes.
time the last bus
Yay.
leaves. You can meet at 7:45 at Atlantic Dance Hall to participate in the new fun runs around the Epcot resort areas. On Fridays, DVC members and their guests can do the Seaside Sprint, which is around the Disney Boardwalk and villas and the Yacht and Beach Clubs resorts, which is often a component of the runs, actually, for Run Disney. So
Yes.
if you're kind of trying to see what it would be like to run around the world, this would be a great little intro, because the boardwalk is, ironically, this is the part I always get a little nervous about because
Absolutely.
it can be slippery, right? So
In that morning dew. Oof.
right. So if you can survive this run, you can survive anything. So so the actual run departs at 8:00 in the morning. It's a 1.4 mile resort loop. It's a leisurely run, right? So not stressful. You will receive a custom finisher pin and a Goofy Glacier slushie from the screen door at the boardwalk.
Ooh.
Granola bars, bananas, water, and Powerade are also available. I don't know if those are available at a fee or not,
That's
because
a good question.
yeah, if you were to do a Run Disney event, they would have those things available at the end. Although
Yeah, but this is super cheap.
Yeah, and to that end, $15.98 a person.
Also, what is with the 98 cents?
Right.
It's not 99.
It would didn't rip you off with $16. That'd be a ripoff.
If we take it down, yet I think this is my theory. People have figured out 99 and they just automatically round up.
Sure.
But if they take it down one more penny, that throws people's automatic brainwave off, and so they don't round up as much as they would otherwise.
Okay, but I am so
Walmart, it's only 97. So there you go.
Oh,
right. I'm so accustomed to Disney doing Easter eggs. Like, I sat there and looked at $15.98 for a really long time, trying to figure out if there was some significance to it.
That's so funny.
I came up with no answer for the record.
I'm telling you, it's a psychological tool to defeat your brain.
But I think it's interesting. I wonder if I would assume the granola bars and bananas are. I mean, I told Tim, you can't get a pen and a slushie for $16. So this is
I don't think I think my guess is you're paying for the granola bar, the banana, the water, and the Powerade.
They're also available. You're not going to get them, but they're there if you want them.
Right.
They're there for the first 3 people across the finish.
That's right.
And maybe
while supplies last.
Right.
If you bring your magic band, you can get them.
They could have a basket of them available, and then you just take. People could take what they want, rather than doing the little Run Disney boxes.
Yes, the much coveted.
Right. You could get them on eBay. It's crazy.
It is, and that nacho cheese was just so crazy.
It is nuts.
Right?
And for all of it, I can't remember if I mentioned this. If I didn't, DVC called DVC Member Services for your reservation for this run. I actually think it sounds kind of fun, especially if you have little kids with you. Because it's an inexpensive way to do an event. You get a finisher pin.
To get them out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, it's 7:45 in the morning. Heck, if you did this before the park opens at Epcot,
you could just walk right in.
Yeah, you could go there. Hey, I want to
And if you're staying at the Polynesian, you could use the construction as your wake-up call.
There you go.
Right? Get you up early, ready to run.
Get you up and out the door and ready for your race.
The only thing I need that they don't have in this description is I need a finisher t-shirt.
Oh, see? Okay, you know what mine was? I need one of the space blankets.
There you go. Yes. I mean, we may be a little bit spoiled by Run Disney at this point, but we need some merchandise.
I don't know, for $16 though.
You're not going to get much.
Right.
I think this is. I wonder how quick if it sells out, how soon you have to, like, how far in advance you have to call. Yeah, this is an interesting, because running has become such a huge component of Disney.
Right. Well, if we have if any listeners out there do this, I'm not going to be down there till January. So if any listeners do this, please let us know how it goes. Yeah.
And I actually did. Brad, tell them tell them your secret info.
Yeah, well, see, I did call and check on it today before the podcast just to kind of get an idea. And the sense I did ask how much is the total price, and they said $15.98, but that may not. But I didn't specify. Did it include the stuff? She did say, when I said I'm not sure if it's available yet, she says, no, you're within the 180 window, so it should be able to check because I'm going in January. But I was just having fun with it to see if it was available during the marathon week, and it's not. But it makes sense because the 10K is on that Friday.
Yeah, it runs right around.
So that's exactly where the race is. So.
But can you imagine if you were in the race and people came out with their slushies?
Also,
I'm stopping here. I'm going to run this race while I'm running this race. I've already booked for this, so get my stuff.
Or if you see the finish line for the Seaside Sprint and you're doing the 10K.
I have another question. What about strollers? Could you bring a stroller on this one?
I'm going to argue that they're not going to let you bring strollers, period. I just think it's too much of a liability.
I agree, but I don't know how they're going to stop you from bringing a stroller if you don't have like a bib and it's not part of a super organized event, because it's not like they're going to shut down the boardwalk for this little event, right?
So I'm looking at I actually, because I wanted just to see what things look like. So I actually found the pen that you get, which is really cute. And you do get a bib. It's a blank bib that you write your own name on.
Okay.
But also there's also other short fun runs. Like there's one on Sunday called the Beignet Dash at Port Orleans. So there's a lot of these popping up in the area.
Oh, cool.
And this person is talking about having done this race, and she has a bib on where she wrote her name in. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of cute.
I think it's very clever. Disney's like, okay, so people want to just run around in a circle, and we can charge them $16.
Right.
Well, somebody did say, so now you have to pay to walk around the boardwalk.
But you get a pin.
And this person actually comments, the funny thing is that there are a lot of people who just run around the boardwalk as their morning jog and didn't sign for the run.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are doing it.
So, Rebecca, where were you finding that other information on the other runs? Is there a place where people could go to find that out?
So there's a blog that I'll send over to Tim, and he could put it in the show notes if he wants.
Okay,
Just
sounds good. Because I did look up the Seaside Sprint on the DVC site, and it's not showing.
Oh. So I'm looking at the pin that this person received. It's actually really cute. It's kind of a rectangular pin that says Boardwalk Resort on it, and then underneath it says Seaside Sprint. And it's actually it's very Saratoga Springs in my opinion, because it's got a person on a horse while the sun rises behind them. I'm not entirely sure.
Interesting.
So actually in her blog though, and this is a blog that I actually read fairly often, she says when we finished, they had water, bananas, and cold towels for us, which was great. Because even in this time of year, it's very humid, and they got adorable pins. And she says there's also a few photo prop ops around where you can take pictures. It's not character based, but there's like, you know how they do the frames.
Right.
The frame up, it's kind of like that.
Well, that would make it sound like all that the stuff then, because why would they charge for granola bars if they're giving the bananas and the water and Powerade? They're going to give it in a race like they normally do. So must be all that's included.
It says that your Goofy Glacier slushie, you have a tearaway coupon on your bib for that.
That makes sense. Sure, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as much as I sound like I'm making fun of it, it sounds like fun, and I probably will do it. Take my money, Disney. Take my money.
Runners are very cultish.
Right. Sign me up.
The Goofy Glacier.
I got really annoyed that I got shut out of the Avengers short 5Ks over the summer, which I meant to do but forgot about. But such is life.
Oh, man.
But speaking of running around paths, I got another one.
I love it.
Guys, it's about the journey. For DVC owners at Grand Floridian, I'm so excited to announce this. I blinked several times to figure out if it was true, because this has been like one of the things that I most don't like about the Grand Floridian. And there's very few things I don't like about the Grand Floridian. The only thing is that it was completely illogical to me that you could not walk to the Magic Kingdom. Well, do I have news for you? They supposedly Disney World intends to construct. I'm trying to control my enthusiasm for this idea. Disney is planning to construct a path linking the Magic Kingdom theme park to the Grand Floridian, which is an obviously good idea. Disney's saying the path will give our Disney resort guests another convenient way to reach the Magic Kingdom park. I just want to reiterate, this would have changed the entire way we raised our children. We would have never...
Dramatic.
We would have never slummed it at Bay Lake Tower.
Yes.
Joe Quattrochi is going to be hot.
With those people.
I'm kidding. I had to warn my colleagues, by the way, who may or may not listen to this episode, that like I'm not really this much of a jerk. I just play one on the podcast.
They know.
I said, if you get me a room at Pop Century Music or whatever they call those things, I would probably go.
And I stay there all the time. I love them.
Right. I'm sure they're lovely, Rebecca. I'm sure they're lovely. I just don't even know where they are.
That's why we become DVC owners. We don't have to go there anymore.
Exactly. That's okay. Someday she'll join the cult with us. She's only been on the roundtable for what, like 4 years? So, right? So yes, guests familiar with this area will know that although there is a walkway leading towards the Magic Kingdom, it dead ends into a bench.
Well, the crazy thing is that path exists from Magic Kingdom to the canal,
Right.
and then it exists from Grand Floridian to the canal. It just can't get across the canal. There's already a path there. It just needs a bridge.
We need the technology to connect the two.
Wow.
I've just always wondered why this was like how long. I mean, this place has been open for a long time.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that it's just now happening.
Someone's in a meeting going, I got an idea. Now stay with me on this one. He pulls up a Google Map.
Oh, God.
We just connect these two.
Here.
Right, like we put a bridge connecting the two paths that obviously we're supposed to connect.
Give that man a raise.
Right.
I don't know. What about that bench?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there were logistical reasons that they didn't do before, like maybe they had a really tall boat or something. Because isn't the Grand One? Isn't there like a giant luxury yacht out there?
Yeah, but I understand that canal is just for the show that goes out on the water.
The electrical water pageant.
Yeah, the electrical water pageant. That's the only things that go into. Now they're tall, but
oh my God, could
you
you
stand come on
on this walkway during
there you go.
drawbridge? That would be amazing.
That's what they did in Epcot. Do the same thing they did in Epcot.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Wouldn't even have to be that expensive or involved as the Epcot one.
Right.
Yeah.
So finally,
Yay.
they made the logical decision. And this will really, honestly, I think this is going to be huge for people with strollers, people that like to walk in general. It'll help out Polynesians.
Do you have any concept of like how far that is?
8 miles.
That's my concept.
I don't think it's that bad.
No.
Is it comparable to say the Contemporary?
I think it is.
So, it's a little farther, I think, than that, but not a lot.
No.
Okay.
Yep. And
this is a great idea. It relieves congestion. It gets people moving.
There'll be golf cart rentals.
I kind of wonder if it is. Right.
Gets people to stop walking on the roads that try to walk to Magic Kingdom.
Right.
They're going to put those bikes, the Surrey bikes, on there.
Surrey bikes, Segways.
I will admit to being suspicious that this has something to do with monorail renovations or something.
Oh, yeah.
Where they are like, well, we can't take down the monorails unless we give these Resort Loop people at least one other
But at
option
least
to
they're
get to the
doing
park.
that. At least they're not like, well, sorry about your luck.
Since we're on the topic of New Year's in Italy.
I'm loving these transitions. These segues
Did you like
are the
my
best.
segue?
That was
my
fantastic.
segue as good as Emily's?
It was awesome.
That was smooth. That was super smooth.
I was just about to say, how can I transition this? Brad took it. Go, Brad.
Well, I know Tim's got some things to go do.
We
so
do.
We're gonna move it along.
You know what those things are? Get away from us.
So I heard about this event that they're doing at the new Riviera Resort.
I love this.
And when I saw it, I had to call on it because I just had to know a little bit more. You can celebrate the new year atop the newest resort in the neighborhood in an event entitled Mezzanotte at Topolino's.
Ooh.
Nice job, Brad.
Star. As part of Membership Magic, eligible Disney Vacation Club members may be booking this limited capacity event 2 days before, which is several days ago.
Yes.
By the time we're airing now. On the 16th, as DVC members, you could begin to book, and then it was open to the general public on the 18th. We had a sneaky feeling, since there's only going to be 200 people allowed into this event, that it would have already been booked before we aired this podcast. But as of the 25th of July, I called today, and there actually are still reservation spots available.
I'm shocked.
Now, yes.
I am shocked and appalled.
Do they take children?
The possibility could be that it's still available because it costs $550
Sure, they'll take your kids,
tax and
Emily.
gratuity. So it includes the tax and gratuity. I mean, come on.
Well, all
Per
Per
right.
person for this event. So,
Wow.
but
Lord love a duck. Lord love a duck.
yes,
$550 a
$550. This is really designed for the people that are, that are kind of the Victorian Alberts set. I mean, this is.
you.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So
No, like put it in your mouth.
Right,
they have European-inspired buffets, food stations, a la carte tapas. It includes alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks,
Oh.
desserts, French and Italian specialties, handcrafted pastas, chilled seafood. And so it sounds like a really nice array, a very quality array of food. It sounds like it. Also musical entertainment with a DJ, also plus traditional Italian musicians and vocalists just to ring in the new year. So it does sound like a pretty elegant event. I mean, my wife and I have been known to be stupid with how much we spend for something for that one-time event.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you wouldn't have been crazy enough to do this. I'm just glad I'm not going to be there on New Year's Eve to find out.
Brad,
Yeah.
is this comparable to like a Victorian Albert's dinner?
But that's,
Price-wise?
No.
Not quality-wise, but price-wise.
No, it's
it
not.
would be not quite.
Okay.
I think for the two of us when we went this last year, and so we don't drink, so there was no alcohol involved, which always bumps it up.
Sure.
I think we paid close to $400. It was about $200 a person.
At VNA's?
Well,
Yep.
no, actually it was closer. Yeah, it'd be closer to this because by the time I added the tip and everything,
Mhm.
now I'm thinking about it, I was getting close to $500.
Okay, but that was for one person, not per person.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good point. Yeah, that was
Okay.
people. Yeah.
So, A,
Two of us.
it almost probably wouldn't be worth it if you're not a drinker because I feel like a lot of that price point comes from
Exactly.
alcohol. Unless you just want the experience.
And to
I'm
me,
trying to think of like the most expensive New Year's John and I have had. We did the city one year, and that was probably close to this. So I hear what you're saying. It's not out of the realm of possibilities if you're really splashing out for a couple. I certainly wouldn't bring my children here.
Oh my gosh.
No,
You know,
no.
this
And the other
really
problem
makes
I
me
have
wanna
with
try to book it with my kids just to see what the reservation person says.
I
Like, oh yeah, there's going to be a 5-year-old and 2 6-year-olds.
I also love how it runs from 8 o'clock till 12:15.
Yeah.
Like midnight club, and you're like, get out.
Get the heck out.
You don't have to
Happy
go.
New Year, bye-bye.
You can't stay.
Now, this is definitely a more high-end event. If the dress code is very much like Victorian Albert's,
Okay.
dress pants or
Like, I
slacks,
know people who would do this. I know people.
collared shirts for men, dresses, skirts.
It feels like it should include the room for $550 a person.
Right.
Or at least my biggest thing is if this was a location that was like you just could never get to,
Like a Club 33 sort of.
like a Club 33, like a
Yeah.
Victorian Albert's, where it's not just the food, it's the event.
Right.
And to me, this is the top of the new hotel where everybody's going to go anyway, and I'm not even sure what the views are going to be like there. So
Right.
yeah, that's my biggest concern.
I
there.
agree. It's kind of an unknown for such a price tag.
Yeah.
And you're not talking about the Four Seasons either. Like if you were talking about over in Golden Oak, I think there's a Four Seasons kind of thing.
Yes.
Um,
I do think some people would be encouraged if they're cutting this off at 200 people. If you want a small, uncrowded affair, this might be a nice option.
great.
There you
What
go.
I'm waiting
So
to hear about is if they have that DVC. Do you remember they had, or they have had, something at the Ballroom of the Americas? I think
mhm.
a DVC event for New Year's Eve.
Well, they have another one. They do have
Tell us
an event
about it,
Tell us about it, Brad.
This is a genuine, guys. This is an actual genuine segue by my interest because I did not read any of the show notes other than the ones I had to read.
Well, you did good. You just
I'm totally
Wait.
fake.
But tell me more because I'm really curious about what other options there are.
So for others whose wallet doesn't include, the money you got from selling your last kidney, on New Year's Eve 2019, the Top of the World Lounge is doing its event. It's done this, I think, for the last 3 or 4 years, if I remember correctly. It will be available only to DVC members paying to attend a private event. So this time, you cannot go up to the top of the world unless you are part of the paying event, which is important to note. This is expected to be similar to the July 4th event where DVC owners, including registered guests at Bay Lake Tower, were blocked from accessing the lounge unless they paid for that event ticket on July 4th to see the fireworks. I don't know if you remember, but it was back in June, they announced the plans to host a private event on the 4th for $99 a person. And the members received access to the lounge to enjoy the Independence Day fireworks display, along with light snacks and beverages. While a similar event is presumably in the works for December 31st.
So this is a lounge that DVC members would typically have access to anyway?
This is the one where you have to show your membership card to get up there.
But if you had your membership card and you showed up, they said, no, it's $99.
Exactly. Well, what happened on July 4th was there was people that did show up. They didn't know about it, and they had reservations, and they were staying right there in the hotel. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go up and see the fireworks. Well, when they tried to go up, they were stopped, and to try to appease them in Disney fashion, they offered access to the outdoor viewing platform with no snacks or beverages for only $49 per person.
So you still had to pay.
Still had to pay.
But I will say, in Disney's defense on this one, it's very clear. They make it very clear at the sales part and in all the fine print everywhere, and all the not-so-fine print, that the top of the world is a privilege, and it may go away at any time.
Okay.
So it is not like an entitlement.
Thing that we have. Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
And they're very clear, especially about the top of the world for some reason. So I think it's basically going to be like, we'll keep it DVC as long as.
Yeah. Do you think that they're very clear about this because they're going to start doing more and more private events like this?
Sure.
Yeah. And also, I think that if it's unprofitable, if DVC members stop using it, they won't do it anymore because it's
go back the other way. But if they're making money on it,
yeah, especially if you're looking at $99 versus $515.
Right.
Yeah. or $49 if you just want to be able to see the fireworks.
Listen, I'll bring my own cheese.
Right. So Brad, is this something you can book now, or is this something that's like in the works still?
Now from the article, it doesn't say. In fact, from what I was reading in the article, it's not specifically saying that this time it's $99, this time it's $49. We just know that they're going to do something that night. So they haven't. I don't think they've given the specifics yet. So that's what I read.
Gotcha. So we can't book this yet, is what you're saying?
Yeah. So we wouldn't be able to book it yet if we don't know a price or anything else. So.
But be prepared, as they would say in The Lion King.
Be prepared.
Right.
All right. Well, we're sorry we did that.
It's going to be the chance of a lifetime. Digital news.
Awesome.
Shining new era, and it's tiptoeing nearer.
Okay, we are going off.
Emily, you need a hobby.
I'm gonna do if you don't cut me off soon, I'm gonna do my Scar voice. So let's move it along.
Have you seen the new movie?
No, I'm dying to.
Me either. I'm excited.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm excited. I saw Aladdin and Toy Story, but I've not seen Lion King yet.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, I got nothing else.
Excellent.
I got Tim. Do you have anything to say?
Hey, everybody! Thanks for joining us.
Get off my lawn.
No. I want to say, one, thanks everybody for the show tonight. Second of all, if you have any questions for the roundtable, send them to me. I'm sure the team would love to answer some listener questions on the Disney Vacation Club.
That would be fun.
We love questions.
Yeah.
Awesome. And shout out to my new coworkers who listen to the show. Very excited that we're all Disney nerds together. It's a cool environment.
That's right. She's not alone.
Almost like Tim and Bob.
Right. Exactly.
Like Tim and Bob. That's awesome.
Excellent. Hey, before we wrap it up, Rebecca, where can people find you?
These days, mostly at work.
Yeah.
But in those brief moments, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at BeccaBerry73 or Tequila Becca.
Excellent. Mr. Brad Coates, where can you be found?
Well, these days you can find me at the doctor's office,
Right.
physical therapist. Papa Mouse 1 on Twitter, Papa Mouse 101 on Hotmail if you need to get a hold of me for any questions or anything. And I always hang out a lot at, of course, ResortLoop.com and the forums and everything. So love to hear people asking questions. Love it when you private message me on Facebook and ask things, because that's why we do this. We love Disney, we love DVC, and we love to talk about it, if you hadn't noticed.
Yes, indeed.
At least once a month, usually.
Yeah, and please private message us, because we missed a month and we got so much to say.
There's a
Right.
lot.
So true.
Brad, how is it that I am just now following you on Twitter? I don't even know. I literally was like, wait, I don't think I follow him on Twitter.
And honestly, since I look at Twitter like once every 4 or 5 months,
Here with you.
Oh, good. Then you know
kinda
what?
said-
I followed you 3 months ago, and I am very offended.
I'm not that bad, but I'm not a big Twitter guy.
Gotcha.
I like to hang out on
Let me
Facebook.
find you.
Emily, where are you at?
Yeah.
I'm mostly Twitter retired, but I do get on there every once in a while. And that's at actually I forget my Twitter handle. Oh well. So first comes WDW, Disney lounging, hanging out at ResortLoop.com or Looper Nation Live, hanging out with the Resort Loop Rocketeers, and maybe we can have a Rocketeer.
We should do a seaside.
Yes, exactly.
There you
Oh,
go.
fantastic.
Yep, so.
Oh, Emily, your Twitter handle is first comes WDW.
Oh, perfect. There you go, guys. Thank you.
That's not right.
Hopefully I am following Becca, and hopefully she's following me right back. So, yep. So that's pretty much where I am.
Awesome. Everybody, thanks for being on the show today. Love it. We'll do it again next month.
Thanks, Tim.
No problem. Tim
Give our
Scott,
best to Bob.
you know I will.
Yeah.
Bob's doing great, just so everybody knows. I know people are asking, and he's doing fine. He's just doing what he has to do. So,
Good.
fantastic. Yep. I'm Tim Scott. Facebook, Twitter, the website, ResortLoop.com. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out everywhere else. Check out Looper Nation Live if you're not a member there. That group, you want to be
You're
over there.
missing out.
You are missing out. Everyone, please go out there and share.
Do it.
The gateway to the magic. How do we end the show? What do we say, everybody?
We're children. We're children.
See everybody. Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoopTravelGroup.com.